That's the last question in my list here. What I'll do is I'll jump back quickly to the PowerPoint, talk a little bit more about the program, and then come back to the questions again to see if there's any new ones. Okay, so I talked a little bit about the curriculum already. And again, freshman, sophomore year, everybody takes the same courses. There is only one BME specific course taken during sophomore year. The rest are, again, life sciences and mathematics. But once you start your junior year, your coursework will depend on which of these 4 tracks you decide to take. So you have a broad education or broad focused first 2 years, okay, your foundational courses. And then when you get to junior, senior year, we're really narrowing focus into those courses and those areas of your concentration, okay? Certain junior, senior level courses cross over. Okay, for instance, if you're in the biomaterials track, you will take biomechanics. That course is also required of students in the biomechanics track. Okay, in the biomaterials, you will take instrumentation, BME 3500, but that is not a required course in the biomechanics track. Okay. So there is certain courses that will cross over into other multiple tracks. However, the farther you get along, starting in the junior year, the harder it will be to switch tracks. Because there will be a course that you take, let's say again, you're starting in biomaterials. There might be a course you take in biomaterials that isn't in the curriculum for computational and systems biology. Okay, so that course would not count in that concentration. Okay, so that's why it's important, when you start your junior year, to be in the concentration you want to be in. And let me go back to the questions. Looks like a couple just popped up. Okay, if classes are online and offered as pass-fail, are students able to choose this option to be counted towards course requirements in engineering? Currently, that is only for the spring semester. As a general rule, a pass-fail course cannot be used to meet degree requirements. Okay, online courses can be used to meet degree requirements when they are offered. Okay, but pass-fail courses are not. There was an exception put in place for spring 2020, so that if you opted to take a course as pass-fail, it would still count towards your degree. Okay. At this point, that exception has not been extended beyond the spring semester. Okay, so again, online courses can count towards degrees. Okay, pass-fail only for the spring 2020 semester. Okay, for some reason, your freshman or early sophomore year, you decide that BME is not for you, and say you want to go to ME or EE, what would be the process? Is it very difficult to do? How late are you able to make this change in your education? Okay. If you want to transfer to a different major in UConn, it's actually an online form. Okay, you just go online, put in your information. If you wanted to switch within engineering, it's actually the process is you would submit your application, and then it would go for the departments for review. Okay, we do have what's called space-limited programs. Okay, and what I mean by that is just because of limitations in size and faculty and space for students, okay, the transfer request is reviewed, and if there's room, students are allowed into the program. Okay, and don't forget, we also get transfer requests from outside of the School of Engineering. So there are some space-limited programs where it's a process, and whether or not you can transfer in is just dependent on how much room is available at the time. Okay, and we also have students who transfer out. So there's always some churning going on between students who transfer into one program or out of a program. Okay, as far as how late you're able to do this, you can do this at any time. The applications are submitted and reviewed for January, and I believe the cutoff date is December 31st for that. And then they're reviewed again in June. Okay, so basically for getting transferred in for the spring semester, transferred in for the following fall semester. Okay. So you can do it at any time in the curriculum. You could do it freshman year, you could do it junior year. The farther along you get in your program, the more likelihood that you're going to have to take additional courses. Okay. Once you transfer to another program, okay, if there were courses you took in BME that are not part of the requirement or an elective for the other engineering major, well, you're going to have to take something in place of that. Okay, and again, early on, first year, most engineering students are taking the same courses. Once you get to sophomore year, it starts to change. Junior year, senior year. Okay, so you can change at any time. It's just a matter of how many additional courses are you going to have to take based on when you actually make the change. And again, the later you do it, the more likelihood that you're going to have courses that may not count towards the new degree. If you're going to decide to double major, I would start looking at that freshman year. Again, mainly because if you decide to take supplemental courses during the summer, that allows you to start doing that between your freshman and sophomore year. Okay. It also lets you plan out your schedules. Okay. Certain courses are only offered once a year, either in fall or spring semester. They might be prerequisites for later courses. So you want to make sure you get them in the right place. Okay. The other thing with looking at the double major, okay, early, is looking at courses that will count for both majors. Okay, if you have an elective course you can take and it counts in both majors, well, that may be the elective course you want to take, as opposed to taking an elective that will only count in one of the two programs. Okay, you can work with your advisors, again, starting freshman year, let them know you're interested in that and they can give you some guidance. By the way, since we brought up advising, let me just make a comment about that. During freshman, sophomore year, we have dedicated advisors in engineering. They work with the freshman and sophomore students, helping them in our particular program figure out what concentration they want to go into, making sure they have courses. These are the same academic advisors you'll work with over the summer for registering for your fall courses. Okay, so these are professional academic advisors. They're part of the advising group in the School of Engineering. Starting in your junior year, you will be assigned faculty as an advisor. Okay, for your last 2 years, the faculty will advise you in terms of your coursework. Again, some courses are required, but there are a lot of electives, and they can advise you in terms of what course might best fit your interests. Okay. But the first 2 years, like I said, with a professional academic advisor, second 2 years with assigned faculty. Okay, but if you're going to do a double major, even if you're going to do a minor, I would say start thinking about it and looking into it earlier, because the earlier you decide, the more flexibility you have in terms of how to fit that into your coursework schedule. Okay, the later on in your academic career that you decide to do this, the more difficult it's going to be, in that if you want to finish in 4 years, you may be taking very heavy course loads. Okay, or to get the second degree, you might have to extend it beyond 4 years. Okay, so the earlier you start looking at it, the better planning you can do. Okay, is bioinformatics as a minor still offered? Does a CSB concentration override this minor? Okay, just a quick word about minors. Minors cannot be taken in the same program that you're getting your bachelor's degree in. For instance, the biomedical engineering department, we have a minor in biomedical engineering, but as a BME student, you cannot elect that minor. Yeah, okay. So if you were in our CSB concentration and you wanted to take a bioinformatics minor, and the bioinformatics minor is offered by the computer engineering department, yes, you could do that. And I'm just going to look up real quick here so I can better answer your question if that minor is still being offered. And again, if you wanted to look up minors, it's catalog.uconn.edu, and you would just go to the minors page, and the minors are listed according to the program that's offering them. There's a computer science minor, and there is a bioinformatics minor also. The bioinformatics minor is offered out of the computer science and engineering and MCB departments. So there are a number of MCB courses and a number of computer science courses. A couple of the computer science courses will overlap with courses required in the CSB concentration. So you can double dip a little bit on courses there. But again, there are two that would be related to our CSB concentration, the bioinformatics and the computer science minor. And each of those is 15 credit hours. Again, it's just to bring you a little current information. For the summer at UConn, all our courses that are being offered will only be offered online, so there's no in-person courses this summer. No decision has been made about the fall semester yet. We're hoping it'll be business as usual in the fall, but again, for the summer, any courses that are offered will only be offered online. We will pretty much be offering the normal summer courses that we do. Most of our summer courses, or at least a large majority of them, are online already anyways.